Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the World card, right? This week, it wouldn't surprise me if you were if you were interested in breaking out of the box. This is a week to look at your communities, the people that you are tied to, the people that you work with, the people that you work alongside. The reason I say this is the World card tends to speak to the communities that we are a part of or that we find ourselves living in. And this week they're going to be really important to you in some way, shape or form. The other thing as well, this card very often sees us elevating our status in some way, shape or form. So this could be a change in status for some of you. If you are employed, maybe you decide to become unemployed or self-employed. For those of you that are partnered, maybe you decide to become single. For those of you that are single, you could become partnered. You see where I'm going with this, all right? So with that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Star card. Isn't that beautiful, right? So this really is about your communities. For a lot of you, this does suggest to me that you are either planning some sort of long distance travel, or there are serious talks about the place that you live in. We're going to see a lot of this, right? I talked about this in 2020 when I did the 2021 videos. If you haven't seen your 2022 video, you can get that on the link in the description box below. We're going to see a lot of this, especially over the next 24, I want to say like the next 18 to 24 months, we're going to see a lot of movement, right? And I kind of feel like you guys are preempting this or getting ahead of the curve. Now, the Star card can talk about your network, right? So the way that you communicate with people, your social media presence, all of that stuff. This does suggest to me that you are broadening your horizons in some way, shape or form, but a lot of you do look like you are checking in or checking on some sort of long distance travel, which is very exciting. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Seven of Swords, right? Now, you've got this underneath the World card, and it's funny because this, if you look at the card, right, it's Caesar, and the whole, you know, if you know it, at least just a little bit of your primary school history, you know who Caesar was and what happened to him. The fact that you have this underneath the World card, I would say this week you do need to check in with your groups, your people, your associations. Maybe some of you have already felt this and you're already starting to adjust over who you connect with, who you tie yourself to, who you allow yourself to be associated with. And what I mean by that, it's not like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna hang around with them. This week could be a week where you start to get very, very clear on how the groups, the people, the organizations that you are a part of reflect on you, right? Now, I'll give you a really good example. We've all got that one friend who has no filter, doesn't give a flying bleep about what anybody does or doesn't feel or think about them, and they are you know, they're just authentically themselves, right? But you know that you couldn't take that certain person to certain areas of your life. You wouldn't take them to maybe go and sit with your grandma, or, well, maybe my nan. Love you, Nana. She's a hoot. She's lovely. This week, you may start to get very clear on where you can't cross the streams, where you can't cross the boundaries in some way. So when it comes to those of you that are employed, this week Watch out for the office politics. I'm going to be really honest with you. While I think most of this you are insulated from because you've got the Star card, which actually offers quite a protective influence, believe it or not. But with that Seven of Swords underneath the World card, there seems to be a lot of office politics flying around the space at the moment. And I just want you to be conscious of that so that you don't get caught in the melee. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, I'm not going to go as far as to say that this, for those of you that are self-employed business owners, etc., I'm not going to go as far as to say that this is mutiny. But I will say that there does appear to be some form of dissent forming. And I kind of feel like this is down to like a rogue element. And, you know, you can't always blame one person. If there's unhappiness in the ranks or, you know, maybe even with your clients, etc., you need to ask yourself where it cuts both ways and where it is. As an example, just recently, I can't remember who he was or what his name was, but I was watching a YouTuber and he was saying that on one of his videos in the comments, a lot of people were kind of saying the same thing, and he was like, as uncomfortable as it was for me to hear, it was something that I then needed to say, well, look, they can't all be wrong. This week, you know, whether it's with your client base, certain clients, whether it's, you know, among your employees, if you have them, or people that you manage, pay attention to that, because the feedback that's coming in, even if it's negative feedback, it is still constructive because it's showing you where you might need to adjust. For those of you that are retired or no longer working, you might get sucked into some drama this week, some drama, right? And I will say this to you, if that, I don't know if anybody caught that reference, but I'm going to stay silent on where it's from. No doubt some smart Alec in the audience is going to be like, did he just reference this film? Like, yes, I did. I don't care. But I'm intrigued to see if anyone caught it. Yeah, just if you're sucked into some sort of drama this week, be careful. And the reason I say this, for those of you that are retired, this will likely be within the familial or the friendship ties. For those of you that I'm talking about, and this relates to your working life, be careful. And the reason I say this is, especially with that Caesar energy, I'm looking at this now and I'm like, this could be one of those things, like, you know, where you go in to fix something, like everybody screams for you to get involved, right? Like, well, you know, you can't just stand there, you can't just stand on the sidelines, and, like, you know, are you going to help, are you going to say something, and you're like, no, and then you finally end up having to say something, and the second you do, it's still bloody wrong, right? This could be one of those weeks. Don't allow yourself to become a scapegoat. For your love and relations, you have the Knight of Cups, right? Beautiful card. I love this. For those of you that are single, it does look like a friend is likely to become a lover this week, or certainly there's the potential for it, right? I'm going to be honest with you. The person, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. This person might be desired by several other people. And so you might find that you are then the scourge of envy in some way, shape or form. All right, just watch out for that. Maybe it's not the right time to talk about it. Maybe it's not the right time to tell anybody. If that is the case that we're talking about, then I would let this person divulge it. You know, and then when it comes to those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this may be something to do with a partner's friends, or the partner's network, with a partner's social circle, or yours, right? Maybe the partner doesn't like the friends, maybe the friends doesn't like the partner, and vice versa. This is a week where you are going to have to be comfortable with compartmentalizing. This is not going to be one of those weeks where you can get the oil and the milk to blend. All right, for your money and materials, you've got the Sun card. Nice. It looks like you get out of it relatively unscathed though. But when it comes to your finances, your money and your resources, you are on track, right? This is a really potentially very great opportunity that shows up for you to increase your money. Maybe things that you're already doing now really start to pay off. For those of you that are, you know, business owners, etc., by approaching something and just as honestly as you possibly can, this suggests to me actually that you could end up either switching your clientele or finding new ways to make money that replace old ways that you're having to phase out, or maybe old groups or old clients or old, all that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I love this card for health because it basically says you get a free pass. Like, unless you're gonna, down a bottle of tequila every day and brush your teeth with 20 cigarettes and, just eat pizza all day on the sofa, then, if you did all of that every single day, then yeah, you might, you might notice something. But for the most part, this is a great card for health. It speaks very well for it. And then finally, when it comes to the home and environment, the Sun card very often brings a much lighter and easier vibe. And I kind of feel like this week you're saying to yourself, this is what I want. I need easier, fun, more light kind of vibes, and I will have them. All right, good for you. So your ruler is currently still retrograde in the sign of Capricorn and will be up until the 29th of this month. So, hang on in there. Your card for the full moon is the Gate 64 and Confusion. And the fact that you have this means that, and it's not just about confusion, it's about really taking time to listen to what your inner senses are actually saying to you. So this full moon is really inviting you I almost want to say, like, it's almost inviting you to really consider where it is that maybe, just maybe, some of the associations that you have are no longer building you up, but are actually hindering you. All right, so this is going to be I think it's going to be a moment of honesty with yourself, but also a moment of honesty with someone that maybe you need to start parting ways with. I think this is going to be a week where a lot of the muddy waters become clear. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.